Hello. Hi, let me introduce myself. I am Carolyn from CL. This is Fanah. I know
she's an instructional designer and I'm the education technology.
We always work together in supporting the faculty staff. So may I just have a round and say that where you are from and what are the subject core areas that you're teaching? Okay. All right.
Timothy from Natural Sciences.
Okay, Natural Sciences. Okay.
From PLS, I teach how to do research.
Oh, okay.
Research.
Yes.
And
yes. Okay. No. Okay. Have you all used Wiki before, or have you all done any Wiki? Have you created any Wikis? You have? Using. Okay. So you use an outside Wiki platform?
It was the NUS equivalent of IDLE, Wiki inside.
Okay.
We use it to teach national and regional security at the SF Advanced School.
Oh.
So different groups will then reading material, and then they will have to jointly author critical evaluation paper.
So LE is actually a learning management
Yes.
something like Blackboard. So
So the other thing is that any idea what a wiki is? Have you heard of wiki? I mean, the biggest thing I think your students will probably quote from a Wikipedia page, right? For example, we actually...
You're not supposed to do that.
Actually, NIE has a Wikipedia page. Oops. What happened to it? Wikipedia page. This is a Wikipedia page. NIE. So what is different about wiki? What is the thing that is different about a wiki?
I mean, my understanding is an open one. You can anyone can put in
everyone can add in information.
Right? Yeah.
Everyone can edit, right? A lot of people just read a wiki like that, but then they forget that actually the best part is actually to view the history. Edit, and you can see how the whole document or how the whole information is being evolving. Yeah. So actually the thing about wiki is that it's a kind of a knowledge construction. You can build a knowledge. Your students can build their own knowledge, build up, from nothing to something. Okay, because everyone you can give them a page to develop it. And also you're in the research, right? So you can talk about collaborative research. Each one can do one chapter of a research paper or one section of a research paper and build it up. Any example of how you use it? A wiki. Other ways of using it yourself? The experience?
We have a case or a problem that we present to all the students. Those are cadets anyway. And if it's a problem, then they will then go away in their breakup groups. In their own cluster, they will have computers as well, all looking at the same wiki page. And each of them will then start, begin to key in something, key in the section of the report that needs to be done. And among them, they have to be well coordinated, because if you key in something, he can erase it for you.
Yes.
And if he hits the enter button, the whole paragraph may just disappear. So they're all looking at the same page and writing the essay together. And because of that, the coordination between authors has to be thought out in advance. So in the end, it's really an essay that is collaboratively written by everybody, and it's saved and uploaded, printed out and uploaded.
They work on the individual computers to do the essay writing, right? Like work on the same page.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It's all looking at the same page.
Okay.
So if you write something, if I'm not careful, I might erase away your sentence.
Yeah. So actually possible ways, I mean, maybe you want to think about subject core areas, how you would use it. One of it is summary of topics. Each group can summarize one topic and then you build 5 different topics, pages of topics. Let's say if you're in English, you can do storytelling. each group of students will tell, one part of a story, chapter 1, chapter 2, and then you can, put it all together. Or, for example, in English language, if you have book reviews, let's say if you have a lower primary school, so maybe each group will do, let's say, horror movies, horror books. They do a book review on horror stories, one whole group, another group on adventure stories. Then in the end, you have a wiki on book reviews for lower primary school, different genres. I mean, these are just ideas that how you can use a wiki. The other one you can
authoring on the same page, or it's a different page of the same wiki.
Okay, after we will ask you how we could possibly use, especially using the classroom setup, this kind of classroom setup. We will answer the question later. The other one is to do the historical timeline. If you want to do a historical timeline, let's say history, 1800s, 1900s, then each group will do time periods, for example. And the other thing is also like create a resource bank. You can create a glossary of terms for the subject. For example, a group of students will do from A to G or something like that. You divide 5 groups for 5 alphabets and they will create a glossary of definitions. Sometimes if some of the subjects have a lot of definitions that you need to do. Yeah. And the other one is interesting is that you may also want to try a debate. Each group pro and against for a topic, and then you can do a debate and then you can write down the debate topic. So these are just some of the examples. I'm sure if you some ideas may be thinking about how you could use it. Understand?
Actually, get down the answer to tutorial question. Feel and fulfill.
Yeah, tutorial questions?
Yeah, because normally we give, because this is content courses, and then you give tutorial questions and for them to do, and oftentimes you get students who will come back, the hardworking ones. Usually the good ones are also the hardworking ones. And then they come back and say, the problem with this and that. If you set the different ones to do different, they may be able to actually
work together, and then they build their own. Any example? Offhand, you think you can add on to this list?
Essentially covered there. Most of what I do is just summary of topics. Sometimes just to throw out ideas, I ask them to work on not so much a wiki, but just a good topic. Express your opinion on something like just words, just descriptors for certain group of students. If you want to describe their behavior or whatever it is. And then they just come out of these words, then we use that as a jumping off point to discuss.
Let's discuss, yeah. Okay. So, having say an idea of how you use a wiki in the classroom, then how do we use it in a collaborative manner, let's say in this kind of classroom? So one example we have here is that you can divide the class into 4 groups, because you have like four monitors, right? So each group will choose a section of a topic. For example, you say different topics. So one group will be one topic, and they would discuss. Okay, so you have one computer, but you have to be careful for using a Blackboard Wiki, is that only one person can edit. Okay, let's answer your question for Blackboard Wiki. Yeah.
Blackboard Wiki.
For Blackboard Wiki. Yeah. So one person can edit. So what the others could do is to provide information, or they can see on this screen, what the person and provide information for the person to add on. Okay, so then each group will discuss on the topic. Then later on, has an instructor. You could flash out each group. So if you have 4 groups, then you have 4 pages of wiki pages that you have created on a particular topic. That's an example. So at the end, then at the end of it, so if you want everyone to contribute, you can open out the whole wiki to the whole class, so everyone can go into each other session and add on to it. Then this is an example of a Blackboard wiki. So for example, even for research, you could divide research methods, right? Different qualitative research methods, for example, and each group will look at one type of research method, and then in the end you have the whole qualitative.
Some of our courses is ask the students to do a group presentation.
That's right.
So instead of giving them lecture, so they will do the presentation in a group.
Yes.
So
you can
think
ask them to do a...
how to use Wiki to collect the slides, because the students
Yeah.
they're supposed to be in charge of different parts in the presentation.
That's right. So you could create a page for part 1, part 2, part 3, and then the students can work on it. And then in the end, everybody can take a look at the whole thing. Okay, we have created a dummy subject using Wiki in the using this is the Blackboard Wiki. Okay, so for example, okay, we created a subject on volcanoes. Let's say, okay. So this is the first page. You set up the introduction page, and then your content. Let's say you want to have like 1, 2, 3, 4 different 4 contents. So you want each group to work on one topic or one subtopic, so to speak. So you want the timeline, the anatomy, and you want to collect stories, volcano eruption, and then you want to have management, prevention, and prediction. So each group will be in charge of this. Then what we did is that, okay, here is another page, which is the timeline. So the students can create this.
So you can also
So you
create subsequent pages.
Yes. So you can create other pages.
In this demo wiki, right, we only created 2 pages just to demonstrate how many pages that we can create. We can create as many as we want. So for this activity, we have content page already. So as a tutor, you can actually create the introduction page and provide them what they need to do. So maybe this is the instructions for them. So when they go back to their stations, maybe these 4 stations, each group will then create a wiki page which will add to the list over here. So then they can start working on it using one station, maybe one person as a scriber to type, and the rest will be the one who they will brainstorm at the same time and do the research, and they can also make use of the board if they need to draw, or they need to do mathematical calculation and things like that lah. And at the end of the day, like when you said you want to think of using Wiki to present, right? At the end of the day, maybe once they finish their page like this, they can show it here and just stay at their station. As a facilitator, you can just control the monitors to show just this one, so everyone will be looking in all the display in this classroom will be looking at what they're showing. So then they can describe at the comfort of their seat at the station. So everyone will be looking at them. And then there's the other stations will do the same. You can switch.
Now, what happens?
You mentioned that you use Google Docs, is it? Previously.
Google Docs, Google Sites.
Google Sites. Google Sites is also something like that website. You can create different pages. Yeah, the other thing about the Blackboard Wiki that we could use, or we seldom see it being used, is that if you notice at the bottom of the page there's a comment. So either the instructor can, like comment on, I say, okay, have you seen have you read about it in a different perspective, to guide them to, to write in a certain way, or to guide them to find out more about certain things. Or you could have students comment, have a discussion. So that's another feature that you can use in the platform. Yeah. The other one is the revision history. I think most of the wikis you can monitor, because you don't want to see who are the students who have been doing the work and the students who have not been doing the work, right? So
even in Google Docs and Google Sites, there's also revision history. But there was a question in the previous group: what's the difference if they use Google Sites and Google Docs and compared to the Blackboard's Wiki? For me, I think it is the the link to the grade center. So if you can see, this is the usual looking at the history. So as a facilitator, right, you can see the person who started the wiki is me, myself, and then the other people who edited the ones here.
You have a timestamp also.
And timestamp, and also you can compare. So let's see what's the different
Versions 1 and 5.
so you can compare. So from here you can see who edited and who removed what. So
given this functionality, what would be the usual mode of usual methods of evaluating performance of students? Because here we have different versions of the same document developed over time. So of course at time 0 it is like that, and over time it becomes more and more, it becomes less. You know, so how do we evaluate student performance in this case?
I think we probably need to design a rubric like how would you grade the participation rate of the students, you know, how much contribution they have, what would they put in, in that sense. I mean, we have to design a rubric for it. Yeah. Or is it just going to be a discussion? Yeah.
or is it a group-based?
A group-based work, project work assignment. I think beforehand you have to design that already, and then you tell the students, okay, are you graded for, and what are you graded for? Yeah.
So this wiki, when what kind of tools are available when we go into the wiki? Is just typing, or can they draw? Can they do illustration?
For wiki, you can insert pictures.
You can
It's a
insert
very rich-
anything that you can insert in Google Sites or in Blackboard courses, like videos and things like that.
Yeah, but can you do like drawing? I mean, can do illustration, freehand drawing kind of thing, tool?
It's like a word processing.
It's the same, yeah, all the words.
But it doesn't have drawing tools as far as the drawing is something else. Now.
Drawing is something else. You
Export
can't
as
draw.
an image.
Then you have to draw
Import the
separately
image
and then
is separate.
import.
Yeah. Import it as a JPEG or something.
So for math teaching, you probably also need the symbols.
Yeah. For actually,
Yeah, there's a Blackboard we
There is
have the mathematical symbols.
yeah. So you can actually type it in.
Yeah. It's loading. Yeah, the mathematical symbol.
Yeah. So you can add all this.
And wood.
Yeah, it's the same thing as you create in Blackboard, the text editor.
Things like that.
You can submit.
My sign is very not very good.
Oh, but the text editor is not.
Science teachers.
Yeah, we have science teachers.
For me, I normally, as an assignment, they'll create a website on Google website.
Oh, Google
Sites.
Sites, yeah.
Simply because I find the Blackboard tools are a little bit limiting. And then the other thing is that sharing it becomes a little bit more difficult. While Google Sites there are also issues with sharing, but it's a little bit easier. You can, for example, just make it available to everybody with
a link.
URL. Yeah.
Yes.
So then it becomes less of the who can access, who cannot access, and who's using a different account and things like that. It also gives a little bit more flexibility because students usually like to have some
Want to
design,
goggle outside, yes.
they want to make a nice background.
That's right.
And these are quite limited.
Limited because
So,
you cannot change the background because this is how the wiki look like. Yeah.
but that's for different. I actually teach biology as well, so that's a content thing, and purely content. Just give them a topic and say you're going to create a website that informs a target audience on this topic. You just create a web page and it must certain specifications. Just say it must be hyperlinked.
Yes, you can hyperlink your things.
And then you link to external resources and so on and so forth. Which unfortunately Google wikis I find just a little bit constrained. Yeah. So it's easier just to say Google Sites and
that's right. Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of tools. I mean, some people we use PP Wiki outside. But then the students got to log on and have their own password. But the thing is that we are looking at here like forums and wikis is like we already have it on Blackboard. If you want to have something simple, ready at hand, it's already there. And then the students, once you have your account, right, I mean, they are enrolled in your class, they already have access already. Yeah, so actually, we have here, actually in the notes, we have already put it up there. Yeah. So actually, all these are tools, right? Wikis, blogs, journal, and discussion forums. This is available in our Blackboard. So it's like why you want to use which one? It's like okay, images and videos. As you say, we can import into the wiki page, the stories, and then for collaboration, of course, the wikis, the blogs you can't. You can discuss at the bottom, but then you can't collaborate. It has to generate content or generate knowledge, construct knowledge. And then, of course, linear. If it's a Google document, it's very linear. Well, this one is spread out over different. So these are the various things, so you will know when and what to use when you need it. For example, so if you want to have participation, summary, building of content, and history, I think the wikis are the ones that you would use. These are just examples.
Let's wrap up in about
share anything else? Any different from yours?
I think different tool has its function of
Can
affordances.
many people edit on your one page?
Sorry?
Can many people edit on the same page?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Only those who are assigned to the wiki.
Oh, okay. So everyone can edit concurrently at the same time?
Yes, that's why we had problems because there are too many authors.
Okay.
The group wasn't very well coordinated. So in this case, I think it's good for one person to be looking in and the rest
contribute
by giving feedback, verbal feedback. That way, you don't have the fear of losing method. The only thing is that when people give the feedback, the grading of the student has to be on the fly, because here you don't have versions. I cannot track and deconstruct the write-up to see who has contributed more, because it's all verbal, unless the session is being recorded.
Group project. This one is project-based one.
What about like wiki in a form? Here you're saying like discussion in one scribe, but say as an instructor we give a particular topic and then ask them, they can do it at home and what?
Yeah, you can do it at home. Yes, you can build up pages.
That one anyone can get, the whole class.
Yes, you can open the whole wiki to the whole class. Like here, if you're going to maximize the use of the LCDs in a classroom setup like that, that's what we would do. But then you can also open the wiki to everyone, and everyone can go and contribute to every page.
If you could just